They are so good at that. That's how they got all the way to the grand finals, and I've been looking for a more scrappy kind of game where there's 2 heroes there, 3 heroes there, but when they have the Drow and the Luna, it's just so conducive to OG grouping up. But at the same time, if they bring out of those, they might let the Alchemist or the Naga slip through.
I mean, that's the thing, Ben. Do you think that might happen? Are we going to see a different attempt, a different approach on the draft in Game 3 from Adfinem? Do they just not ban out Alchemaga and take something out totally different entirely?
I think it might be better for them to actually take one of their cores early on instead of like the Nyx and the Rubik, like one of their farming cores. Like take one of the, probably take the Luna and don't take the Drow. At the same time, there's also Terrorblade, which OG can use. So I don't know. They need a good hero to split them up.
Well, we certainly saw that Game 2. Adfinem tried something a little bit different. Again, incredibly unsuccessful as OG looking absolutely insane with the plays this final. 2 games in, 2 wins under their belt and 2 stonks pretty much as well. Alex and the panel will be able to bring you in, but so far it's just been the OG show all around.
It really has, OD. I mean, at this point in time, it is just this kind of constant reminder of don't sleep on OG, right? Coming into this grand finals, even the semi-finals, we were not expecting to see OG do what they did to EG in the semis, and they're just bringing that into the grand finals. It's mad.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, kind of before the tournament, there wasn't a lot of kind of attention drawn the way of OG. A lot of people looking towards your EGs, VPs. OG kind of going under the radar.
How did this happen?
I think it was.
I don't get it, bro.
I mean, I guess it kind of goes down to, would you say, when Anna, the whole kind of shift in terms of roster. A lot of people had their doubts on the newer players, but Anna, he stepped up to the mark.
Yeah, I mean, in the recent tournament, a lot of eyes weren't on OG because VP just crushed everyone, including OG, on their path to the finals, and OG's doing the same thing that VP did in the last tournament.
I mean, I could try and phrase it by saying that Adfinem have often shown that they can go down 1 and come back, but they've gone down 2 in a best of 5. It's going to be a real uphill struggle. I look forward to seeing you guys back on that casted S for the 3rd of the series. Thank you very much. So, I feel like Elvis Presley when I do that. Thank you very much. Let's get into it. It is time to break down our 2nd of the series. Fogs, Shiva, and none other than Empyrean Flax joining me.
I feel like we jinxed them.
Shut up.
You probably did.
It's not just yet. Not just yet.
It is nothing to do with jinx. It is simply to do with an OG that have surpassed what we expected from them. I think.
No, absolutely.
I mean, like, right, this game against EG was just a little, like, a kind of reminder about, hey guys, we are here and we're gonna stamp our logo all over the stage.
Yeah, did we just forget that OG is legit one of the best teams? Like,
I don't think we forgot.
Silly.
I don't think we forgot.
I think we got caught up.
In the hype.
Hype. But hey, it ain't over yet. You never know. I think it's extremely unlikely that OG will drop the next 3 games, but I mean, they've demonstrated that
Truly
they are amazingly good, and you can't say that they did anything wrong in either of these games, really.
Well, while we are praising OG, I just want to quickly jump in and remind everyone that this is a very cool stat that I have had sent to me by a friend of mine called Ali. He says, since TI5, always 1 team made it to the grand final of Valve events through the qualifiers. Except the Manila Major, OG in Frankfurt, Liquid in Shanghai, DC at TI6, and now here Adfinem in Boston.
And OG, the only one of that list that you're mentioning to actually win off the back of that as well.
The only team to have actually won from the qualifiers is the team that looks to try and make it 3 here.
Yeah, I mean, this specific game, it was all very well executed from OG. S4 Slara was just amazing. I think the best thing to take away from Adfinem, at least from this specific game, is that they went for a playstyle that we knew what we were going to see.
Yes.
We knew what Adfinem was going to do. We knew that the Bounty Hunter was going to roam. We knew that the Nyx Assassin was going to move the moment he got level 6. And that is something that OG prepared for. They were expecting Adfinem to walk around. They were so prepared to go every time Adfinem was planning to.
Yeah, it just seems like they kind of had their number in a way.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a lame way to say it, but like it's a pretty hard matchup just individually for Adfinem versus OG. Like Adfinem is a team that likes to take scrappy little fights.
Yeah.
OG is a team that group up deathball. They use all 5 people. Everybody kind of comes together in unison and pressures in that such a way. And I think it was very clever of them to actually put the Batrider on support. We saw how well he did. well S4 did, just because of him switching to be that starter. So very cool approach. We kind of thought that they might do it, but they actually did, and it worked out in a massive fashion.
Another Batrider support and a success as well.
Indeed, and I think, OG actually had a big advantage going into the series. They were the only team to face Adfinem that had actually faced them before as well, at least this tournament, and Adfinem was able to take one game off of OG, but not the series, and they knew how to play against them. It feels like they're a lot more familiar with their play style than what the teams that Adfinem had faced so far have been. So
yeah, that's a good correction, because I might have said that they had never played them before, and they played them in this very tournament. That wasn't the group that I was covering that day, I hope. But
we didn't cover that group at all.
Fortunately,
these are long days, you all. These are long days.
Yeah, long days.
Yeah, the Dota sometimes does blur into one. The scoreboard, however, will help make things clear. This is another absurd differential between the OG and Adfinem score. Look at that, 28 to just 4. And we saw at the end of that, Anna was godlike by the end of the one.
I think probably the biggest thing to point out, at least for me, is what we said in the drafting phase. We said in order for Adfinem to really come out hard in this game is if MNT goes berserk mode in the laning phase, and you can just see from that 0 and 8, he didn't really have much of a chance to have that presence. Yeah, I just think that it's kind of this Dazzle pick really owned them as well, just being able to do that group up, having the sustain to be able to do that as well. Getting the early Roshan, there's not really an easy way for Adfinem to be able to contest it, but I think this is very appropriate with that one play down in the bottom lane, and also just several other just pickoffs and positionings that he had in the mid game.
I'm so glad you mentioned that one play, because we have got it from his perspective.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Purge was going to explain it.
Oh no, but how much fun is that going to be? We are going to have the opportunity to see the S4 Slardar play. I mean, just before we jump in, I guess you can explain what happened.
Well, I think it was a combination of Jarex and him. There we see like 3 Sticky's Napalm stacks already coming up on everybody. S4 has a stick, he has magic, he has the raindrops as well. He's just able to use his tangos that he did have as well to kind of kite around, get multiple different stunts, flies heal on top of that. It was just like the perfect synergy between them. The sticky stack charges, like you can't turn, you're just completely kind of stuck in that fashion, and dealing with a sprinting Slardar, it's impossible to kill him in the tree line. So great teamwork by the three of them there.
This is the best bit. Like, I just love the fact that he doesn't panic at any moment, and he knows that his team are there. Look at him laughing while he's doing it. That's as a player, I guess he's just thinking, this is great.
Well, he also, so the raindrop saved him, the stick charges saved him. It was literally just a combination of everything. The tango that he used saved him, and then the heal from Fly, and right after that I think he gets a regen rune too. So even bigger grin on Gustav's face.
All around.
You know that moment when everything correlates, it all comes together, and we are going to come together as well. Our panel and Purge are going to come together, because you've got something. What have you got for us this time, Purge? You got another magical treat?
Basically same fight, just a little bit of different focus.
Oh, okay. Eyes on the S4.
Didn't steal my wind. Fingers
Damn
crossed.
it. Okay. So sorry once again. Let's see what you got.
Still good, promise. Okay. First thing I want to look at is just the OG draft. They picked a lot of heroes that are very good in the early game. This is so important, because the way that you get advantage from heroes like Bounty Hunter is trading in the early game. Lots of auto attacking. That's where you get a lot of your damage. So when you have somebody that has high armor, or really good early game skills like Dazzle or Batrider, it's a great advantage. First little fight at the top lane that I thought was significant was this one where they ganked No Tail. They were working his HP down. Skylark had to run, but this is kind of the crucial moment here. The big stun came out. He was able to salve in between the damage sources, which guaranteed that he was more safe, but then Fly had this huge heal bomb that did 2 damages a nuke versus maybe. Does 80 physical damage per hero nearby, and that did 160 physical. That's why maybe died. He thought that he would be able to trade and actually commit and kill No Tail here, but Dazzle, amazing at early game trades. Another gank in the mid game. This was a cool setup that was kind of a diversion play, bringing a bounty as well as a early game OD to the mid lane. They weren't actually going to kill Annie here, but look how many support TPs they actually saw. Fly committed his, and S4 as well also committed. If we look just like 15 seconds later, they're already planning to do a smoke gank on the top lane. That was with a rotation from PA, as well as the rotation from the Rubik as well, finally coming out of their lane. So with an easy setup here and a fast rotation, this is 6 minutes here, and they're ganking the Draw Ranger in the safe lane with the PA. Great kill. And then again, the big fight at the bot lane. So I'll just explain some of the important things. Bot himself bought his team 4 seconds here to let his allies actually show up to the fight. The Gus is going to miss, and then obviously with PA gap closing here, this is pretty important that he actually grabbed the lifted S4 away and pushed him to the left. That way, when Madara actually jumps in, he's not within stun range. So that was pretty significant. Madara was able to finally go in. Obviously, S4 eventually catches up, actually does miss his stun. And now the next crucial moment. No-Tail's got 4 seconds where he can't die here. So what Thug does is actually uses Astral Imprisonment to imprison him for 4 seconds, and at the end he takes a nuke, guaranteeing that kill. That was a significant moment. And then finally, because Thug ends up getting killed, this is where S4 started doing some amazing stuff. At this point, S4 is pretty much dead here. Very low HP. He's already used Sprint, so he's taking bonus damage. Thug's going to die as well, but what Adfin wants to do is wants to guarantee the kill. So at this moment where he knows he's dead, he instantly, instead of going this way, he cuts back to the right, which guarantees that Skylark's stun is going to completely miss. And because of that, they had to overcommit going for that kill. It was just an amazing juke there by S4. And things got even worse here with the stun and the heal bomb, completely turning things around. You know, he continued doing some amazing things, but